In any organization, selection is a long process. To select means to choose. Selection is a process of picking up individuals out of the pool of job applicants with requisite qualifications and competence to fill jobs in the organization. So, the selection of a right applicant for a vacant position will be an asset to the organization, which will be helping the organization in reaching its objectives. Sometimes the selection process varies from industry to industry, company to company, and even amongst departments of the same company. Different authors define selection in different ways. Dale Yoder defines selection as a process in which candidates for employment are divided into two classes: those who are to be offered employment and those who are not. Whereas Thomas Stone also defined selection as the process of differentiating between applicants in order to identify and hire those greater likelihood of success in a job. So, employee selection is a process of putting a right applicant on a right job. Thus, the selection process is a tool in the hands of management to differentiate between the qualified and unqualified applicants by applying various techniques such as interviews, tests, etc. In this sense, it is a negative process of employment in which only few who qualify for a job are offered employment and others are denied the opportunities. A sound selection policy ensures the selection of suitable candidates. Let's try to understand the difference between recruitment and selection. Recruitment is searching a right candidate for the right job or finding the interested candidates who have submitted their profiles for a particular job. Whereas selection is choosing the best and most suitable candidates among the applicants. It results in the elimination of unsuitable candidates. Here in the selection process, it follows a scientific technique for the appropriate choice of a person for the job. Now, recruitment is defined as the process of identifying and making the potential candidates to apply for the job. And selection is defined as the process of choosing the right candidate for the vacant positions. Recruitment is called as a positive process with its approach of attracting as many candidates as possible for the vacant jobs, and selection is called as a negative process with its elimination or rejection of as many candidates as possible for identifying the right candidate for the right position. So here both recruitment and selection work hand in hand and both play a vital role in the overall growth of an organization. Selection process. The selection procedure consists of a series of methods or steps or stages by which additional information is secured about an applicant. At each stage, facts may come to light which may lead to the rejection of an applicant. So, selection procedure may be compared to a series of barriers which an applicant is required to cross before he is finally selected. As I mentioned earlier, the selection procedure consists of a series of steps. Each step must be successfully cleared before the applicant proceeds to the next. The selection process is like a series of successive hurdles or barriers which an applicant must cross. These hurdles are designed to eliminate an unqualified candidate at any point in the selection process. Thus, this technique is called as successive hurdles technique. Now, the selection is influenced by several factors, external factors and the internal factors. The most prominent among them are the external factors such as supply and demand of specific skills in the labor market, unemployment rate, labor market conditions, legal and political considerations. And the internal factors are organization's image, organization's policy, human resource planning, and cost of hiring. So, selection is a long process commencing from the preliminary interview of the applicants and ending with the contract of employment. Now, let's try to understand the selection procedures, which consist of a series of steps. Step 1 is reception. The receipt and scrutiny of applications is the first step in the process of selection. A receptionist in the personnel department gives information about the new openings to the visitors and receives their applications. The scrutiny of applications is essential to take out those applications which do not fulfill the requirements of the post. Some people send applications even when they do not possess the required experience and qualifications. So these applicants, if called for the preliminary interviews, will be a waste of time and that of the company too. So these applications should outrightly be rejected and information should be sent to the applicants with this regard. Step 2 is a preliminary interview. Now, preliminary interview is a sorting process in which the prospective candidates are given the necessary information about the nature of the job and the organization. Necessary information must be obtained from the candidates about their education, skills, experiences, expected salary, etc. So, the purpose is to eliminate of the unqualified applicants. If the candidate is found suitable, he or she will be selected for further screening. Preliminary interview saves time and efforts of both the company and the candidate. It avoids the unnecessary waiting for the rejected candidates and waste of money on further processing of an unsuitable candidate. The third step is a blank application form. A blank application form is a way of getting written information about candidate's particulars in his own handwriting from a prospective applicant. It enables the HR department to understand about the applicant's suitability for the employment. The information collected in the application form may also be circulated to various members of the selection committee for enabling them to make a view about different applicants. The information collected in blank application relates to the following particulars: biodata, which includes the name of the applicant, parent's name, date of birth, place of birth, permanent address, their height, weight, or any identification mark, marital status, physical disability, etc. The second would be the educational qualifications, which relates to educational acquired, institutions which they have attended, percentage of marks, if they have achieved any distinctions, or they have any technical education background, subjects whichever they have studied, and to know the areas of the specialization. The third one would be the work experience, which inquires about the previous experience, similar or other jobs which they have been held, nature of their duties, salaries what they have received previously, name of the previous employers, and also the reasons for leaving the present job. The fourth one is about the curricular activities, which includes the information about the participation in extracurricular activities like NSS, NCC, or debates or declamations, sports activities is also received in the blank application form. The fifth one is the references. The applicant is also asked to give some references from where an enquiry may be made about the applicant's nature and the work he has done. So the references are normally the persons with whom the applicant has worked but are not related to him or her. The last one is a salary demanded. Now, the salary demanded by the applicant is also given in the application blank, so as to know the salary expectations. So, when an employer asks about salary expectations, it's usually for three reasons. First is they have a budget. So the interviewer wants to make sure the candidate's compensation expectations align with the amount they have calculated for the job. If they find most candidates are asking for a great deal more than they anticipated, it might mean requesting a larger budget for the position. And the second one is the company want to gauge how well the candidate is worth for. Say, a good candidate knows how much better their skill set is worth in the market and can share it with confidence. So, to determine appropriate market value, factor in the candidate's level, the years of experience, and also for the career achievements. The last one is the company wants to determine whether the candidate is appropriate for the professional level. So, an applicant who asks for the significantly higher amount than other candidates may be too senior for the role. So, alternatively, answering with a salary expectation onto the low end could indicate that the candidate at a lower experience level than the job requires. So, the step 3 of filling the blank application form is an attempt made to elicit maximum information in the application blank. Step 4 is the selection test. Here, the job seekers who pass the screening and the preliminary interview are called for the test. Different types of tests may be administered depending on the job and the company. Generally, the tests are used to determine the applicant's ability, aptitude, and their personality. An ability test can assist in determining how well an individual can perform the task related to the job, which is also called as an achievement test, whereas an aptitude test measures whether an individual has a capacity or latent ability to learn a given job if given an adequate training. Aptitude test can indicate the ability or the fitness of an individual to engage successfully in any number of the specialized activities. Step 5 is the next step, which is known as the selection interviews. Interview is a formal and having an in-depth conversation conducted to evaluate the applicant's acceptability. It is considered to be an excellent selection device. It is a face-to-face exchange of views, ideas, and opinions between the candidates and the interviewers. There are certain objectives in this particular selection interviews. The first one is it can help to obtain an additional information from the applicants. The second, which can give a general information to the applicants about the company's policies, about their job responsibilities, etc. And the third one, which can help to build the company's image among the applicants. Basically, this interview is an oral examination of a candidate, and interview can be adapted to an unskilled, skilled, managerial, and the professional employees. Step 6 is checking the references. Many employers request the names, addresses, and telephone numbers of references for the purpose of verifying the information and gaining an additional background information on an applicant. Although listed on the application form, references are not usually checked until an applicant has successfully reached this particular stage of a sequential selection process. Step 7 is the final selection. Up to this stage, selection is handled by personnel department or any of the staff executives. Since the persons employed are to work under the line officers, the candidates are referred to them. Now, the line officers will finally decide about the work to be assigned to them. If the line officer is a production manager or a foreman, he may assess on the job performance of the candidate. If the candidate is not suitable for one job, then he is tried for some other level. If candidate's performance is not up to the mark, then he may be kept as an apprentice for some time. Normally, a candidate is not rejected at this particular stage. And the last step 8 is the physical examination. After the selection decision and before the job offer is made, the candidate is required to undergo a physical fitness test. A job offer is often contingent among the candidate being declared fit after the physical examination. The results of the medical fitness test are recorded in a statement and are preserved in the personal records. There are several objectives behind the physical test. Obviously, one reason for a physical test is to detect if the individual carries any infectious diseases. Secondly, the test assists in determining whether an applicant is physically fit to perform the work. Thirdly, the physical examination information can be used to determine if there are certain physical capabilities which differentiate successful and less successful employees. Fourth, medical checkup protects the applicant with health defect from undertaking the work that could be detrimental to them or might otherwise endanger the employer's property. Finally, such an examination will protect the employer from workers' compensation claims that are not valid. The next step in the selection process is job offer to those applicants who have crossed all the previous hurdles. Job offer is made through a letter of appointed. Such a letter generally contains a date by which the appointee must report on duty. So the appointee must be given a reasonable time for reporting. And the next step is the contract of employment. After the job offer has been made and candidates accept the offer, certain documents need to be executed by the employer and the candidate. One such document is the attestation form. So this form contains vital details about the candidate, which are future reference. There is also a need for preparing contract of employment. So the basic information that should be included in a written contract of employment will vary according to the level of job, but the following checklist sets out the typical headings like job title, duties, date when continuous employment starts, and the basis for calculating the service, the rate of pay, allowance is there, overtime and shift rate, method of payment, hours of work, holiday arrangements, which includes the paid holidays per year, calculation of holiday pay, qualifying period, accrual of holidays and holiday pay, details of holiday year, dates when holidays can be taken, carryover of holiday entitlement, public holidays, alternately called as employment agreement or simply the bonds. Contracts of employment serve many useful purposes. So such contracts seeks to restrain the job hoppers, to protect knowledge and information that might be vital to a company's healthy bottom line and to prevent competitors from poaching highly valued employers. The last step is the evaluation of the selection program. It is to how to evaluate the effectiveness of a selection program. So a period audit is the answer. People who work independent of HR department must conduct this HR audit. So to conclude the process of selection, a selection is a system or a set of successful screens through any of which an applicant may be dropped from further consideration. There are various steps involved in the selection system, and a decision to drop the applicant may be made at any stage. Employment offers are made to applicants surviving all these steps successfully. So the procedure adopted in selecting a candidate may differ from organization to organization and within the organization. Also, it may differ based on the type of job. Nevertheless, there is a common selection process followed by many companies. Thank you. Have a good day.